Okay. Then we have another pro sports news. Unrivaled. Unrivaled has been interesting. Um, I've obviously had my critiques about Unrivaled, but it's been mostly fun. I was really having fun when the Vinyl were winning, but they have not been winning. So hopefully next week they bounce back. That's what we're hoping for. They bounce back next week. But they're currently in the midst of their 1v1 tournament. And let's look at that because actually, I don't know how I feel about the 1v1 tournament. I'm not going to lie. It was kind of weird. Um, I want this thing to get bigger. Zoom in a little bit. All right. Let's go through some of these matchups because as you can see, they're already on the semifinal. So by the time you watch this, hopefully you'll be in time to watch the finals, which I think is on Friday, the 15th, 7 p.m. Max TNT, one of them. Anyway, the Jewel Lloyd. Actually, we're gonna go through round by round. Okay, so all of them got buys because these people got injured. Chelsea Gray and Shakira Austin. Y'all know Chelsea Gray is my girl, but Shakira beat her bad. Um, Fee versus Katie Lou. Sorry to Katie Lou. Sorry, girl. Jackie Young and Rikia was on the verge of being cute, but Jackie Young has had a lingering injury, and she kind of like went down during that game. So she ended up finishing the game, but obviously she's not 100%. So Rikia won that one. And then we have Ryan Howard and Lexi Hall. Ryan Howard, I'll get to my rant in the next one, but just know Ryan won obviously, but sister, I have questions. Jumping to the other side, Brianna Stewart versus Aaliyah Edwards. This was probably the craziest one because Aaliyah Edwards swept her. And I do mean swept. Like, Stewie didn't score a single point. I've been calling Stewie Wash for a little minute. People be calling me a hater. My goat would at least score. Chelsea Gray, my goat, she scored at least a point. So, just saying. And this is not, I mean, I've said this before on our podcast, but I don't know. Stewie is kind of in this place where I feel like obviously she's not in her prime, and so she's not hitting the shots that she would normally hit. But she doesn't seem like she's found a way to still like be effective. Hopefully she'll figure that out here in Unrivaled, but she's just been looking crazy lately. Aaliyah Edwards swept her though. That was crazy though. And Aaliyah Edwards is actually a very solid player, so this is not to say that like she's not talented or anything like that, because she absolutely is. It was just wild to watch. Alicia Gray versus Jordan Canada. Leash is hilarious, but she bigger, so Jordan didn't really have a lot of chance really. Um, Ka Ka versus Aaliyah. Y'all know Aaliyah's my goat, my actual baby goat. Um, My sister was tired. It's cool. It's cool. It was fine. It was fine. Rika got a bye. Skylar versus De'Erica Hamby. That one was actually really fun. And the one thing I love about Skylar Diggins Smith is she is so competitive. She played everybody like $1 million is on the line. Like she literally plays basketball all the time, like her life is on the line, and I love that. She don't care who in front of her, who beside her. She gonna hoop. She's gonna hoop. She's gonna hoop. So I love that. I love that. And it was actually kind of a fun matchup. I don't remember what the score was, but it was a pretty fun matchup. De'Erica Hamby is super versatile, and I feel like, I mean, she was already confident and she played really well last season, but I feel like this might this might have raised expectations for her a little bit, but I think that's good. I think she can do a lot for LA. So that was a fun matchup. Um, so then getting to the second rounds, Satu Sabli and Dijane Carrington. When I say clown car hoops, I'm dead serious. It took them like, you get 10 minutes. So it's either first to 11 or 10 minutes. I swear they played like 7 minutes. I'm not joking. It was it was hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Enrique versus Skylar was kind of fun, too, because they're both like small guards. And again, Skylar gonna defend, but Enrique is like really crafty, and I think she won that game on a foul shot. Cause Skylar do be fouling, so she kind of deserved it, but still. Um, Ka versus Leash. I don't think I remember watching that game. I don't know what happened there. Not gonna lie to you. Obviously Leash won, but I can't remember how it happened. Anyway, other side, Jewel Lloyd versus Ray Burrell. Now I really had higher expectations for Jewel Lloyd, but Ray Burrell absolutely cooked her. I mean, Jewel ended up scoring. I think she had like 2 to 11 or something, or maybe it was 4 to 11. Um, Ray Burrell cooked her, and honestly, I did not even know Ray Burrell was that big. That lady is 6'3". For whatever reason, in my mind, she was like 5'10", maybe. Um, but yeah, it wasn't. Ray used her body. She got to the rim. She looked good. Okay, good. Um, Azray Stevens, Shakira Austin. That was a really fun matchup. Both of them trying to get to the rim. Azray Stevens actually won the game on a heaved 3-point shot, and so that to me just speaks to how versatile she is as a player. Then Nafisa Collier versus Rakia Jackson. I try not to look at internet narratives, but people were obviously split on whether Fee should have would have won or whether Rakia would have won. Either way, um, obviously Fee is a number one seed. She's been playing super super well in Unrivaled. Um, but Rakia is, although she's only going into year two, or she's coming off her rookie season rather, um, she is somebody who's like her and Nafisa's bags are like very similar. So watching them play each other was kind of crazy because it's like you doing the same thing she doing. Um, but obviously Fee is much more refined, and so she kind of cooked her. She kind of cooked her. But I don't think it was far fetched. Like people were trying to drag it and say like Rakia couldn't have won at all, and I was like, I don't know if I really believe that. Like there are two people who are like, they are literally, they have the same bag, so it was actually really fun to watch. Um, Courtney Williams and Ryan Howard. I'm preface this by saying I love both players. Um, Courtney Williams is hilarious. Ryan Howard is the girl. Um, and I do want to say that the officiating was kind of bad. And it wasn't just in this game. Like, I feel like as the games progressed, the officiating got worse and worse because some of the players, like when Skylar played De'Erica Hamby, she was obviously fouling De'Erica early, um, as a strategy. And you kind of have to do that when you're a smaller guard. And that's an approach that Courtney Williams also took against Ryan, and the refs just weren't calling it. Like the very first possession of the game, Courtney Williams got this block on Ryan, but she basically jumped on her back, and they called it a block. And that was the whole thing. But I'm like, you can't do that. Like Courtney, like obviously I don't think she had ill intentions behind it, but she could have injured Ryan, and that's not okay. Um, but also like again, they're hoopers. Courtney is a hooper. She's also has a very like competitive spirit, and she knew her and Courtney Williams and Alicia Gray did a little sit down. They were talking about the people that they thought would be hard to compete against, and they had mentioned both Fee and Ryan, and um, they were like, we just never know what Ryan's gonna do, and that's true because Ryan has a deep bag. But in this game, once Courtney got the ball, she went on like a 8-0 run. And you could tell that at first Ryan wasn't like, to me she just didn't seem like she was that into it. She was just kind of like, okay, like I'm just here, like it's like she felt like she had a spirit of I'ma just win this. Like I don't have to try. Um and then Courtney Williams went on that 8-0 run and she was like, "Oh wait, like I got to do something." And then she started to get serious in court and then Ryan went on like a 9-0 run. So it's 8-9 and Ryan is really defending now because she's like, actually, I want to win. Um, and then she fouls Courtney Williams on the 3-point line. In the end, that game ends on Courtney Williams hitting the free throw and getting all 3 points. Um, and I don't know how I felt about that. Like, I don't know if you should be able to win. And this is a conversation they've been having about just in the Unrivaled Games period. Like, I don't know if you should be able to win on a free throw. But I get it too. Like, fouling is a part of the game, or not fouling. Fouling is part of the game, but like being able to draw fouls is also a part of the game. So I don't know. I just didn't like that. And then especially since like Courtney really was fouling the hell out of Ryan. Um, I didn't really like that. But again, I think Ryan Howard is a player that is really a superstar, but she has such a like demure personality. Like she's pretty quiet, like she's very chill. She seems like such a nice girl. Um but when she like walks into a place like you can't beat me, everybody else is cooked. Like that first game she played with the Vinyls, she she was hooping. And after the end of the game, like she was like, I have to, like I'm the best player here and I have to prove that. And or I have to show people that. And I just want her to carry that mentality everywhere she goes. Because if she did, she would be unstoppable. But I feel like, what can you do? Anyway, so that's how that went. Obviously Courtney moved on. We're gonna get to the quarterfinals now. Courtney played Fee. They're teammates on Lunar Owls and on the Lynx, so it was kind of funny. They didn't really want to compete against each other, but obviously Fee won that one. Ray Burrell versus Azure. They're also teammates on the Sparks. Um, this is another game that showed Azure's versatility really well because both of them are forwards. So her being able to put the ball on the ground, take shots, it was she looked really good. And I think it really upped her PR. Well, at least it should have anyway. Then we get over here to Aaliyah Edwards and Alicia Gray. This was another game with really poor officiating, because they weren't really calling offensive fouls, but they weren't calling defensive fouls either. And Alicia Gray is small, like despite being 6 feet, she's smaller than Aaliyah Edwards. I think Aaliyah Edwards is 6'3", and so Aaliyah Edwards like was really putting her body on her. And obviously that's not good for Leash, because again she's a smaller defender. And there was even a point where Leash got hit in the mouth. Like she had to get a medical timeout. Um, and they kept the game going. Like more fouls didn't get called. It was a mess. It was a mess. And Leash had already played Ka that day. Aaliyah Edwards was coming off like a fresh. She had a bye, so she didn't have to play anybody. So she came in fresh where Leash was kind of tired. So anyway, that's not an excuse, and not to say that Aaliyah Edwards did earn her win, but it was kind of weird. And then lastly, Enrique versus Satu. Um, I'm not gonna get into it too much. Enrique won though. We'll leave that at that. All right, so your final four is Azrae Stevens, Nafisa Collier, Aaliyah Edwards, and Enrique Gumbuale. So yeah, it's been mostly fun to watch. I really wish they would have maybe done this a little differently. Like maybe they did the pods by by position or maybe even by height. That might have been cool. Just so at least like you're kind of playing somebody your size until it gets down to the get down. Um, and also since they had all of these people who were out for various reasons, I think they should have just recreated the bracket and just like reseated everybody. Um, but I don't know. I'm not in charge. And that's that. It's still fun to watch, so you guys should tune in. Still, I feel like I said that really dry, but it is has still has been fun to watch. This is the standings for the most part. For this is the standings so far. Lunar Owls are always clearly beating the girls down. The Laces are beating the girls down. The Rose, I don't know they were 3 and 4. The Vinyl, Phantom Mist, they look all of the pretty much everybody who's not the Lunar Owl or Laces, they look crazy. And the only reason why I feel like the Laces have 2 losses right now is because the injury bugs start to hit them. But everybody else look crazy. But what can you do?